Hi, Margaret. Hi, Roxanne. Hi, Tessa. Hi, Kenneth. Hi, Christopher. Hi, Angela. Yes, it's Friday. The weekend has started. I know this weekend going to be exciting. Things are happening, but we'll get to that. I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds, and I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. Peeps, all you know the drill. If they interfere with my life, all you know, stick with me. Stick with me. We go come back, yeah? But I think last time they see how much views I get with all these six, so they must be saying, leave that alone. Anywho's, you know how to start with some good news. So what we have is some good news. What we have today, let me see. Good news. Oh, that's from my phone and I'll be reading it. So sometimes I'll see me squinting my eye and I'm making all kind of pronunciation all over the place. I didn't drink Grey Goose. It's just the writing small. So give me a minute here. So I'm seeing there's some program or something with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. It was in CNC3 page. I think they attached the Guardian also. So whatever they carry in the news, it's in the newspaper. So it's loading. Right, so it says here 21 hours ago, Defense Force, PTI's NAAATT focus on youth athletic development. So what is this about? So Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force is conducting the ongoing 2024-5 physical training instructors, like PTI, course in which participants were engaged by Dexter Voisin, a World Athletics certified lecturer, during a session at the Defense Force Military Academy, St. Madeleine, San Fernando, on Tuesday. Both the Defense Force and the National Association of Athletics Administrations of Trinidad and Tobago, that is the NAAATT, who Voisin is an Assistant General Secretary, have been working in collaboration with this program for several years, with the NAAATT providing specialized training in track and field coaching and technical officiating, while PTI students volunteer their services at NAAATT events. Tuesday's session featured the introduction of the World Athletics Kids in Athletics program, which caters for children from ages 4 to 14. The program focuses on the development of fundamental and athletic skills through structured, fun activities designed to foster coordination, balance, and a love for sports at an early age. The session aims to enhance the capacity of PTIs to implement structured youth programs across schools, community clubs, military initiatives. This partnership underscores our shared commitment to developing grassroots athletic talent and contributing to national sporting excellence, says a key representative from the NAA. There's 3 A's and 2 T's. Right. Let me see. Right, so participants engaged in an interactive agenda, including practical demonstrations and discussions on strategies for creating positive environments for young athletes. The session also emphasized the vital role of PTIs in identifying and nurturing talent, helping to bridge the gap between grassroots development and elite performance. Voisin, who is also the kids athletics lead at NAATT and retired warrant officer class 1, also lectured on practicing a healthy lifestyle by highlighting the importance of physical fitness and overall well-being for youth. With his extensive background in athletic development and military training, physical training, Voisin provided invaluable insights inspiring participants to take an active role in shaping Trinidad and Tobago next generation of athletes while advocating for lifelong fitness. This collaboration continues to play a crucial role in promoting sustainable athletic success by developing a strong talent pipeline. As the 2024 PTI course progresses, both the Defense Force and the NAAATT remains committed to enhancing national youth development through innovative training and volunteer services. So that is something good. Defense Force and the the World Athletic, the NAAATT. Yeah, NAATT. So on their Youth Athletic Development Program to get the young children involved in sport while teaching them about healthy lifestyle. So that is some good news here. Let me put this on this side because every time I look on this side, it's looking as though I have my body coming out the thing. So I'm seeing that our own president, Her Excellency, Mrs. Christine Kangaloo Garcia, but we know as Christine Kangaloo, she is awarded or has been awarded or is being awarded.
So every 2 years, thousands of members of the Indian diaspora return home.
Just a minute. Oh, sorry about that. So she has been honored by India, and I think who was honored before, I can't remember the pronunciation of the award, but I think was this Justice, what's his name? Frank C. Prasad was honored. I think Kamla Prasad Bisesa. So this is a prestigious award from India that recognizes the excellence in either academics or law or whatever in persons of Indian descent from the diaspora, right? Within the diaspora. So our own Christine, Her Excellency, was honored. But I didn't think she was able to go. So I'll just show you what it looks like. It looked Prompton.
Right here to India for the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention. This year, the event is taking place for the very first time in Odisha, India, a state rich in culture. And let me tell you, the government of India is going all out for this flagship event. All eyes will be on Odisha, India for the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas event, also known as PBD. Now, not only does this convention provide the Indian government an important platform to connect and engage with the Indian diaspora and enable them to interact with each other, this event celebrates the diaspora's contribution to India's growth. A large number of Indian diaspora members from over 50 different countries are participating in the 3-day PBD convention, and that includes Trinidad and Tobago. It's significant for us in TNT as well, because President of the Republic of TNT, Christine Kangaloo, is actually the chief guest of this year's event in India. Now, she couldn't be here, so in presenting virtually, President Kangaloo apologized for not being here, citing circumstances that prevented her from attending in person. She, of course, did not say what those were. Now, despite being disappointed that she could not attend the PBD event, President Kangaloo admitted that she was extremely honored to be the chief guest at the 18th PBD and to be conferred a Salmon Award. Now, she joins a few other nationals of Indian descent to get the award, including former Prime Ministers Basdeo Pandey and Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Also, former Central Bank Governor Winston Dukran and former MP Lenny Save and others, including the NCIC. But recalling our country's ties to India through indentured immigrants, the president said, "It's heartening that people of Indian descent help to build a stronger Trinidad and Tobago."
Face many of the same challenges that other developing nations do. But we have the signal advantage of being able to draw upon the rich legacy of the courage and the determination of our citizens of Indian descent. And we have, in doing so, been able to create a stronger, more resilient nation.
Well, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was moved by our president's words, saying she left an impact by acknowledging India's progress. And while President Kangaloo could not have made it in person, Basia Pandey's daughter and political leader of the Patriotic Front, Michaela Pandey, did as she presented at the Youth Forum on the very first day of the PBD event. And she told CNC3 News that this was a wonderful opportunity. It was also her first time to India as well. The PBD event really aims to shine a light on the connection between the Indian diaspora and the government of India. And by having it in the Odisha state, India's foreign minister said it opens up a world of possibilities for a state known for its culture and natural beauty. In fact, this event puts a tourism focus on Odisha, reinforced by the government of India inviting dozens of social media influencers and content creators to India to not only highlight this event, but also promote India as a tourism destination. CNC3 News, also being part of that tour, will be showing you the sights and sounds of India in the coming weeks. But for now, I'm Ria Rambali, CNC3 News, Odisha, India.
So that is some good news. Only just give
a real man will pick you up, girl, and carry you to Tobago for free vacation.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me tell you, these TikTok things and all kind of things that's come up after, you know. Sorry about that. A good thing you didn't have no cruising or anything. So that's some news coming out of India, and you know we have a rich history with India, not just in terms of indentured laborers, but we have cultural ties. Dr. Equivalent during his time, we would have had those cultural ties and diplomatic ties with India. Oh, I'm off, right? Diplomatic ties with India. I remember, because I've been in dance a while, that's village for a while, especially singing in the choir and that kind of thing with my mom. We always used to say about baby Sandra and baby Susanna. And I think both of them would have gone to India to study classical dance. And we were so proud. We were so happy, baby Sandra and baby. That's when my mother gave me my next name from, her Sandra. So we have always had those connections. We continue to hold them there, and we continue to be proud of our Indian community, our Indian brothers and sisters. Yep. So let me continue. So I am saying that the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. Hi, Troida. Hi, Constance. If all see me sliding, it's because I'm sitting on my stool and it's sliding on the tile. Okay, all you. All kind of dramas, you know. So I'm seeing here in the Daily Express, Heritage and Stabilization Fund, this was 4 hours ago, it said, its highest value since 2019. The total net asset value of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, HSF, stood at US 6.087 billion as at September 30th last year, marking its highest level since December 2019. Of this total, the investment portfolio was valued at US 6.086.1 million, while the remaining portion was held in operating cash, accounting to meet the day-to-day expenses that arises from the management of the fund. The HSF quarterly investment report for July to September 2024 stated the balance at the end of September was US 326.6 million, higher than US 5.76 billion recorded at the end of June 2024. According to the report, there were no withdrawals. So according to the report, there were no withdrawals or contribution made during the quarter. When compared to its strategic assets allocation SAA benchmark, the fund outperformed by 30 basis points. The fund's relative assets allocated position was the main drivers of excess returns. Collectively, the HSF outweighs equity exposure and its corresponding underweight allocation to fixed income assets enhanced the fund's performance, it stated. The report stated that in the third quarter, the HSF returned 5.74%, The equity mandates contributed 3.47 percentage points, while the fixed income mandates contributed 2.19 percentage points. And all those people we finance will understand what I read. Me, I'm not in finance. All I know, the fund make real money and they take from it. So let me continue again. I'm seeing the government is interested in boosting steel pan, which is no surprise because I read, I think on Wednesday, where they were offering funding or grants to pan manufacturers, steel pan sticks, and that kind of thing. So this is January the 10th, CNC 3, Gopi School, government committed to boosting steel band industry. So it says here, Minister of Trade, Paula Gopi School says the government is committed to the growth of the national instrument, the steel pan. At the relaunch of Mustafa Chrome, officially named Chrome Furnishers Limited, she said the government of Trinidad and Tobago remains committed to providing an enabling environment for the growth of the steel pan manufacturing sector as a means, and the whole thing just jump and gone, as a means of generating foreign exchange, creating meaningful employment and diversifying the economy. Only hear the word diversifying? According to the ministry, the relaunch will allow steel pan manufacturers to readily satisfy the growing demands for quality chromed steel pans locally and abroad at a lower cost and for shorter production times than having it done overseas. The company offers premium chrome plating services for all sizes of steel pans and manufacturing steel pan accessories. At the ribbon cutting ceremony held today, Minister of Trade Gopi Schoon said, Chrome Furnishers has been a part of the business community in El Chicoro for several decades, with a combination of perseverance, commitment, as well as support from the government. This business has literally risen from the ashes to once again serve the community and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. In a release by the Ministry of Trade and Investment, Trade and Industries, Trade and Industry, it stated that the Ministry of Trade and Industry Steel Pan Manufacturing Grant Fund Facility, remember I talked about that Wednesday, covered the cost of new specialized equipment allowing Chrome Furnishers Limited, a third-generation family-owned company, to officially resume operation on January 6th. The company has ceased operation following the devastating fire in 2021. Praising the company, Paula Gopi School added, today, Chrome Furnishers Limited reaffirms its commitment to playing a critical role in boosting the steel pan industry. She highlighted that over the past 4 years, many pan manufacturers have had to ship their pans overseas to be chromed, a process known to improve the aesthetics of the steel pan and enhance the sound and durability of the instrument. With the relaunch of the facility, manufacturers will be able to capture additional value-added activities along the steel pan value chain. Data collected from the Central Statistical Office indicates the steel pan industry is mapped for significant growth, with exports of steel bands instruments increasing by approximately 68% from TT 1.9 million in 2022 to TT 3.1 million in 2023. Gopi Schoon added that with the newly inaugurated World Steel Pan Day celebrated globally, the minister said, we can all expect an increase in demand for the instrument and even greater expectation from top-notch quality, which can only come from the place of origin of the instrument, Trinidad and Tobago. Gopi Schoon also shared that the Ministry of Trade and Industry has established the Trinidad and Tobago National Steel Pan Steering Committee to develop a national governance framework for the steel pan industry. She said following strategic research, not all talk, research and stakeholders consultation, the committee proposed a number of initiatives to boost the appeal and demand of the national instrument to ensure that the steel pan grows to represent more than just our culture, but is transformed into a homegrown creation that generates with it employment and a vibrant economy. The minister further indicated that the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago also aims to implement a steel pan tuner apprenticeship program towards developing requisite skills and services in the industry, providing for the holistic development of the steel pan industry, the minister revealed. Now, I know my throat is dry. I wonder if the minister and them know I just read out the whole thing. Because on the news, it has just got a little thing. On when we talk the thing, I just read the whole thing because we had to talk the thing, right? Concluding her statement, the minister commended the work of Chrome Furnishers Limited and recognized the chairman and members of the National Steering Committee for their efforts in creating a more sustainable industry and the many others who are paving the way for future success. As we celebrate this occasion, let us remember that the steel pan has become more than just an instrument. It is a symbol of our culture, our creativity, and our collective efforts towards a more prosperous tomorrow. Hallelujah. Whew. So that good work's coming out there from Ministry of Trade and Industry as usual. And the steel pan fraternity again, as I said before, the first woman president of Pan Trinbago, Ms. Beverly Ramsey Moore, and Randolph Mitchell, Minister Randolph Mitchell would have traveled to the UN or went to the UN and they would have spoken about the steel pan, its historical contents, the creativity, the culture, the economy, and that kind of thing. So we just seen a next step. After that, we got the steel pan as our national instrument, and now business starting to boom again. The people who does chrome the pan, factory back up and running again. So when them fellas and them from the manufacturing sector make the pan, they don't have to send it away and pay all the money for shipping and all that to get chrome. Again, chrome right here. That is employment. And as World Steel Band Day, as Ms. Gopiskun said, as UN declared it the 11th of August every year, it means to say Japan and China and all over who had a steel pan with song ping pong 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 pong, they go get the real thing from Trinidad and get it. Okay, so that's money, that business, that diversification. They're always asking for that. So let me continue. Hi Trevor, hi Legacy, hi Helen, hi Gail. Woo! Let me drink a little water, yes, Papa. Right. So I just want to I want to say something quickly on PSM PSA election before I continue, because it will be remiss of me if I don't, because of the fact that I'm a Labour person. So you all know that PSA election is started for March the 10th. And nomination day was sometime last week, I think it was. And there were 3 teams. Excuse me. There are 3 teams that would have been formed. One is the team that Leroy Baptiste formed, that Felicia Thomas, the waste of time. First Vice President won now, who never win a matter in industrial court for no worker, who never dealt with a grievance successfully for no worker. She fell in a team, and whoever she on she team, waste of time. I didn't even know the name, I'm not interested. And then we have Oral Sanders filling a team called United Public Officers. And then we have Nixon Bender-Kalinda with his team, United Team Sentinel. And I want to tell everybody, and it's not because I'm being biased, I am being logical in my thinking, because I'm in the labor movement, so I understand what I'm talking about. If you all want to see the PSA come back to some semblance of respectability, and that workers who are paying the money can get their grievances dealt with, get negotiations settled, get learning again back into the PSA, where members are educated, where the arms of the PSA are open back again, and not just everything just clouded at PSA on Abercrombie Street. If you want to see those type of things happening, and a president that people can respect, and when he sits before Dr. Darrell Dindial, a military man, because he himself is from that field, the military field, not the army, I wouldn't say where, but the military field, that when they sit, there will be a certain discipline and order and understanding. Not only that, in the years that he was not involved in union work, because of the fact he had some outstanding matters in the court that he was suspended for, he has won all his cases. No matter what they say, and as the end result, if a man is cleared by the court, that is the end of the conversation. So who want to bring back up that again is just being foolish, playing smart with foolishness. So he has won all his cases in the court. He's back out to work from suspension. He has been promoted in his position, right? So that is there. So if you all want somebody in the PSA to bring it back to a standard of decency, to get our matters heard, to get all those bargaining units that we have, the negotiations settled and all that, the team is Team Sentinel, United Team Sentinel, led by Nixon Kalinda. And I continue again because this is about character. This is about integrity, because I told you Oral Sanders went on an internet program and was questioning basically my character, my integrity. He also questioned Nixon Kalinda. But it's ironic, just before nomination, he make a video begging Nixon Kalinda to join with him. So that again tells you he has no kind of integrity and character, because if you say Nixon Kalinda is this and that and da, why would you want him to still come and join with you, right? That is one thing. Two, I want Oral Sanders again to answer my questions, because if you want to be president of PSA, you have to face questions. And at the end of the day, I'm still a PSA member. You said some things about me, and I'm just asking some things about you. Why did Jennifer Baptiste Primus stop your contract when she had taken you from St. Anne's Hospital as an assistant psychiatric nurse and took you on as a grievance officer in the PSA? What happened in the CPO office that led her to take back your contract and send your ass packing back to St. Anne's Hospital? Again, I want to know what it has happened in 2009. You were the presidential candidate on that slate. How it is when we saw the slate, you end up the general secretary. But not only that, you only last 4 months in that position, and then you get out of it and talking foolish talk about the credit card that Duke was using, the executive credit card. Well, you know, all the panty buy and the chocolate buy, whatever it is, once those things are not related to union activities, that when he was going to get his salary, it would have been garnished from his salary. So if he had spent $10,000 on panty and soap and chocolate for this one and that one, it would have just been garnished from his salary. So he ain't bust no man. I want to find out, I want you to tell us how he ended up with the vehicle that Ms. Baptiste Primus used to use when she was the president of the Prado. How you end up getting it, how you end up buying it, because that was PSA vehicle, right? And finally, to tell you how he, oh no, one more question. When or if or maybe Edie Stewart with his nursing union get recognized, assistant psychiatric nurse will be a part of their bargaining unit. What will happen to you if you're in PSA? Because then PSA will no longer be representing psychiatric nurses. What is going to happen then? And finally, the man appeared on some morning program and dressed in the PSA executive clothes where he had from since 2009 when he was the assistant general, when he was the general secretary. Good grief, man, you can't even be real. Where you put on the clothes like if you're in PSA? Them is clothes from since 2009. You spend 4 months in PSA and you leave. You put on that and go, look now. Anyway, leave it there, people. The team, United Team Sentinel. And I move on. Oh, I want to also say, so I would have had a difference of opinion with Mrs. Jennifer Baptiste Primus. All you know that is me do. When it comes to labor, don't get me entry business at all. That is my modern day hero, heroine in the union movement. I will never try to drag she history or legacy in the labor movement because a woman amongst all them man and them man is set and rule. She will let me have to be real good the last 12 years as a union leader, and she was in it before. I appreciate it for that. Because of her, I was able to go and study at Cipriani. I was able to take part in several activities in the union and all that. So I always appreciate and love her for her history in the union. I'll keep talking about it. Nobody can stop me with that. But this situation with the PNM and this situation has arisen now, I personally don't like the way that she's treating with the matter. And I said so. Papa, somebody say how ungrateful. Ashamed she. As a shameful woman, always she give me and I decent. Please, I could true come and speak at the same time, and if they can't separate all the emotional responses from logical responses, I could do that. I could support Ms. Baptiste Primus any day, any on the labor movement, and still disagree with her, and still love her, and still show her respect. I don't know about all you. That don't make me less than or no. I so ungrateful. Ungrateful for what? Ungrateful for what? Nobody can about talk in the labor movement to me still. But we were talking politics thing. And I made my comment. So let me leave that there. So let me continue. Love you, Ms. Baptiste Primus, and you know that. You know that. Don't mind what I want to tell you. You know that. So let me continue. So I'm seeing that, where you say, oh, Jenny, I love you. Say, no, darling, is it true thing? That make you. Or they can come around me and tell me nothing about labor. And all they mention Ms. Baptiste Primus, boy, all they got a problem, boy. But we're talking politics. This is something different. She's not in labor no more. She's in the politics. In the politics, I don't like what I'm seeing because I know she know better than that. And I find she shouldn't get herself dragging to them kind of thing for people to be saying all kind of thing about she. That's my view because I felt it was wrong. Okay? Right. So let me continue. Unfortunately, I'm seeing that her attorney and her husband was murdered. I'm not going to read the whole story. It says, this is CNC3 News. It says the 60-year-old attorney and her 67-year-old husband are the country's latest murder victims after they were found dead at their Komoto home on Thursday night. Some sad news there, and I hope that we get this thing really under a level that is really acceptable. Not that murder is acceptable at all, but you all know what I'm speaking about. That we wouldn't have this as a scourge on our beautiful country. Yeah, so I continue. So I'm saying that Martin Daly is saying, because he's a constitutional attorney, up to now he is saying that Dr. Rowley did something constitutionally wrong, you know, but they're talking. So here we see, 18 hours ago, Daly, that's Martin Daly. PNM risk shaming president with move to make Stewart prime minister. And I'm just going to read a little part because I am not a constitutional lawyer, but I kind of understand things, you know, but I'm reading just a little part. Constitutional attorney Martin Daly essay has warned the People's National Movement risk embarrassing President Christine Kangaroo if it seeks approval to appoint Port of Spain North Sentence West MP Stuart Young as Prime Minister without the support of all its MPs. Daly explained that such a scenario would arise only if Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley resigns. A prerequisite for appointing his successor, speaking to Guardian Media, he said. Okay. So it can arise, and they tell me the only way it will arise if Dr. Rowley resigns. And we're saying because if all the MPs don't support Minister Stuart Young, Martin Daly, who tell you all the MPs don't support Minister Stuart Young? Who told you that? So I even address there. I ain't going no further. Because like this new development in the PNM has created some shivers in some people's shivers. Like they don't know how to deal with it. It's what custom of the status quo. That thinking outside the box have all of them dotish. Imagine the Prime Minister using the Constitution that, again, I'm not a constitutional lawyer, so correct me if I'm wrong. The Constitution has a process to treat with if a Prime Minister has died in office, if a Prime Minister is resigning, how it is done. And the process in the scenario that we have with Dr. Rowley, it was the members of Parliament who people voted for. They are the ones, along with the Prime Minister, would sit at a caucus, whether it's on the beach, down the road by a beach line, by a dock line, Parliament, wherever. And there they would make a decision by votes who they want. I understand there were 2 persons or 3 persons. When the votes was finished, we were told who voted for Mrs. Penelope Beckers and who voted for Mr. Stuart Young, MP Stuart Young. We heard that MP Stuart Young got the majority of the votes. And then after that, Kuchu ran back and all that. And I'm just simply saying this why it doesn't make sense to me. If they are saying, all them on the outside who talking, that the MPs now are not supporting Mr. Stuart Young, then why didn't you all, when you were on that caucus and Dr. Rowley enacted the section of the Constitution that speaks to how a Prime Minister could be elected or appointed in that space, why all you take part in the voting? All you should have said, we are voting here today. Excuse me. We are voting today. Or they take part in a legal process, and then when there's a winner, or they supporting the winner. Good grief. So if all who always supported win, or they would have support, or they would have won the next side who votes. So let me be real now. In an election, here what happens? A couple of things happen. Either there are abstentions, that people not voting. Either there's a tie in the vote if it's an even number of people voting. Right? Or there is a winner and a loser. That is why you vote. So when you was voting, you must have expected there would be a winner and there would be a loser. And that at the end of the day, you all are a team together and you have to come together and support the winner, because that is the process of the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. Not the PNM Constitution. The PNM Constitution has nothing to do with the Prime Minister, because nobody don't go in the ballot paper and vote for no Prime Minister. But a political leader of a party, the membership is who votes for the leader, the political leader. I don't know why, if it was by design or unintentional, that the 2 things get wrapped up in one. And I think that is unfortunate, because the political leader, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, has not vacated his position. And the voting for a political leader, the internal election, is next year. What is being open here now is the Prime Minister position that has to do with the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago and the members of Parliament, not the PNM General Council, not the PNM Convention. Right. So I'll get that out of the way. So tomorrow there is going to be a meeting of the General Council, and it could never be they're going to discuss the Prime Minister's situation. It has to be because Dr. Rowley does not need the permission of the General Council or the conference to deal with a national issue where the Prime Minister is concerned. When it comes to the political leader of the PNM, that is where the General Council and the conference will come into play. However, I understand some of the intellectuals say that the General Council could remove the political leader. No, that does not sound right, because my dear lady, who I love dearly, Mrs. Jennifer Pettis Primus, would have assisted, I understand, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley to introduce into the PNM party one man, one vote. So if there's a one man, one vote, you can't tell me a body could remove the political leader. It had to go to one man, one vote. Again, people, if I'm wrong, please inform me if I'm wrong. So if the General Council tomorrow and they're discussing the political leader, they cannot be discussing a prime minister. That is not the General Council, the PNM, or the conference of the PNM business. What is the business is the political leader. And as I'm aware, the political leader post is not vacant, but they know better than me, right? So when that intellectual one was saying that the General Council could remove the political leader, that is if it was delegate votes. But with one man, one vote, where PNM has over 200 or 300,000 members, them had to have a say in that. No General Council can put out no political leader. So please, let's stop confusing people, because the General Council of the PNM and the members, they know very well the authority and the power they have, and it has nothing to do with the Prime Minister. Okay, because we don't vote for no Prime Minister, we vote for a member of Parliament. So let me continue. So having that out of the way, it will make it probably a little easier for where I'm going now. So Jolene John has her say. And this is what Jolene John have to say. Oh, with the awards. How come the diaspora India never awarded Dr. Rudal Munilal with one of the prestigious awards? I'm just asking, doctor, I'm just asking. It's strange though, but I'm asking. Because he's the deputy political leader of the UNC, I think, and they honored Kango Prasad Bisesa, they honored the late Mr. Pandey, and I would have told you, and several others, the girl was speaking about it. How come Rudal Munilal never get honored? Anyways, let me continue. I'm a business. I'm not from that diaspora, I'm from the African diaspora. Yeah. So, Jolene John, 18 hours ago in The Guardian says, the UNC is sad for PNM supporters, but we are glued. I'm just going to read a little piece and then I'm going to tell Jolene John something. While the People's National Movement members attend a General Council, attend a meeting of the Central Executive at Balisay House yesterday, ahead of the General Council meeting tomorrow, the Opposition United National Congress claims that they were summoned to be lambasted over their response to Energy Minister Stuart Young being chosen as Prime Minister by Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. As Prime Minister by Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Let me read over that. While the People's National Movement members attend a meeting at the Central Executive at Balisay House yesterday, ahead of the General Council meeting tomorrow, the Opposition United National Congress claims they were summoned to be lambasted over their response to Energy Minister Stuart Young being chosen as Prime Minister's Dr. Keith Rowley's successor. The United National Congress Deputy Political Leader Jolene John told Guardian Media during a telephone interview yesterday that the PNM is not as stable as Rowley would have the public believe. She claimed that the party is imploding following Rowley's announcement on Monday that 11 MPs voted in favor of Port of Spain North St. Anne's West MP Young, while 9 voted for Planning Minister MP Penelope Beckers Robinson to lead the party after Rowley resigns before the end of his term. John added that she expected the meeting to be far from civil. I'm just sad on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm sad on behalf of the supporters of PNM because they are our brothers and sisters, that they have to tolerate this foolishness from this very irresponsible man they call Keith Rowley. and his sidekick, Rowley too, Stuart Young, all in the pursuit of naked power. They can't care. For them, if Trinidad and Tobago burn down, they will live in the ashes. Okay. So here I won't be reading anymore. Jolene John and them had no shame. It was said or going to be alleged. It was alleged that an individual said it was sitting with Dr. Ruda Mudula, this alleged. And he pointed at Jolene John. She was doing something somewhere. And he said, if I point at Shino, if I call Shino and tell she go and clean the toilet, she go clean it. And I want Jolene John to know, we're not gloating either. But you will never be the political leader of the UNC because that's an Indian party. So who you should be feeling sorry for? And you're talking about a leader who don't care, and but Kamla Prasad Bisesa don't care. Kamla Prasad Bisesa must be when depends. I don't know. Kamla Prasad Bisesa look as if she can run around. If they say run, she could just drop down. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, I watched she teeth and them she was talking. Kamla Prasad Bisesa and them teeth need to clean. Or they need to put up money and send she to clean she teeth. Because when they say that diabetic and they drinking alcohol and smoking cigarette, your teeth will get this color, they're going to start to fall out. Or let's do something about she teeth. I ain't gloating. Kamla Prasad Bisesa refused to listen to the membership of the UNC who is telling she, go. They're actually telling she go. The PNM people wasn't telling Dr. Oli go. The UNC people saying, Kamla go, to give you a chance, go. She ain't going. So who more want to hold on to power and more greedy than your leader? But again, I am sad for you. I am sad for the Negroes in the UNC because there will never be political party of that political leader of the Hindu Indian party, which is the UNC. They ain't making that mistake at all. So Jolene John, I sad for you. They go use you, just like how they use Jack Warner. And I see right now, some up in Grandy, the one who had only jockey short with Superman with the big belly, doing stage, like he giving out all kind of gifts and things to get vote. You're not even living in the area. The senator represent the area, and they don't start with truckload of things to give out. Oh God, when they come with that same place, Jolene John tried it in a hocket and they take everything and they vote. But what's that comment? Jolene John, but I'm not gloating. But I'm saying it again. You will never be the political leader of the UNC. Never. I'm not gloating. So let me continue. So keep that sorry for yourself. And the next one, Mr. Lee Hunt. Mr. Lee Hunt, you need to shut your ARSE because you had an opportunity under Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley when he came back from, was it Guyana, where they were working in the bank? Is it true? You came back and you got an opportunity to serve this country, was the Minister in Public Utilities. Didn't you have an opportunity to serve? And I was thinking, go your way, you pick up your marbles and you walk away from that. Wasn't you some assistant, something in the executive of the PNM party? You walk away from that too? So that I tell you hush your ass. What you could say? If you wanted to have a say, you would have been inside, you would have stayed as the Minister of Public Utilities and do the work like Marvin Gonzalez, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez, MP Marvin Gonzalez doing. In the absence of that hush, you run out on the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and you run out at the members of the People's National Movement. You run out on the General Council members of the People's National Movement. You run out on the conference members of the People's National Movement. You run out on the executive of the People's National Movement. So hush, I say it again, hush your ass. Let somebody else talk, not you. So let me continue. This is how we just talk the thing. So, Rick, I see you here for your daily dose. You can't help it. But we don't have time with you. We don't have time to waste no energy and use negative energy. Your spirit heavy. Your spirit is a heavy spirit. You have nothing coming from you. So, we don't have time with you. So, this is Senator Ansel Dennis, again explaining this whole situation with what is happening.
Mr. Dennis,
how are you?
good afternoon. Can you at this moment confirm whether or not there's a central executive meeting taking place here today?
Yes, we have a central executive meeting at 5:50. We have a general council meeting on Saturday.
Today's meeting, is it surrounding recent developments concerning the selection of Stuart Young and what we understand to be is a lack of support from member of parliament?
So we typically have central executive meetings and general council meetings at least once a month. So this is a typical meeting that is required under the party's constitution from time to time. And I expect that these matters will be discussed as they are current matters at this time.
Do you think the Stuart Young issue will be raised today at the executive meeting, or do you think that will be discussed at the general council meeting on Saturday?
When you see this Stuart Young issue, you mean the impending resignation of the Prime Minister? Yes, that might be one of the issues raised.
Is it perhaps, what's the move, Mr. Dennis?
A mixture of concerns. Some persons are concerned with the impending transition. Some persons are sad as well to see Dr. Rowley signaling to the population at this time that he intends to step aside as Prime Minister and subsequently as political leader as well. So some persons are sad to see him leave. It has been 45 years of his contributions to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and to the party, and I think he spent the last 9 years as Prime Minister leading this country in some of its toughest times and doing so responsibly and admirably. So a lot of people are saddened by that, but I think all in all, the members of this party are excited and looking forward to the future of the PNM. Looking forward to us transitioning during this period.
Just as circle back, this executive meeting is not unusual.
No, these meetings are not unusual at all. The PNM, as a responsible, disciplined, and well-structured organization, we have these meetings from time to time. But of course, we expect that the media will gather here today, given what is happening currently.
There's a feeling on the ground that the PNM is imploding. What are your thoughts on that?
Ridiculous, right? The PNM has been around since 1956, over 60 years. We are a long-standing political organization. We have won elections, most of them. We have also lost elections. We've had our challenges. We've had situations where our first Prime Minister and founder of this party died in office. We had to transition through that. We lost an election badly in 1986. We had to regroup and transition through that from 53-3. We lost elections there. Again, we lost an election in 2010, 29-12, I think the score was at that point in time. We had to transition through that from Mr. Manning to Dr. Rowley. And here we are again with another transition, but this time in very unique circumstances, where it is not about a Prime Minister dying in office, it is not about a Prime Minister being voted out of office, but on this occasion it's about Dr. Rowley taking a decision, which is his personal choice, to step aside as Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So of course there is no inclusion. What you will have is a differences of opinions on how this should be carried out, and that is part and parcel of the democratic process within the PNM and within this country. People are free to speak, people are free to express their views, and of course at the end of the day consensus will be achieved and the PNM will continue to carry out its business and its responsibility to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
So are you saying this is just another turbulent time for the PNM and this too shall pass?
It is a period of transition, and with transition it comes with its challenges. And it's part of the human experience, especially in this sphere of politics. So I am not concerned. I'm in a very good mood, and I look forward to the future.
Mr. Dennis, are you able to confirm at this time whether there's been a list soliciting or asking for the signature of MPs and whether or not persons are in fact refusing to sign that list?
I don't know of any list. I don't know about that development.
Your personal choice. Do you think that first Stuart Young or penalty Beckles?
Well, the parliamentary team of MPs went through a process last Monday, and they indicate coming out of that meeting that Stuart Young got the majority of the support. And therefore, the consensus among the MPs is that he will replace Dr. Rowley as Prime Minister when he does resign. And of course, he has my full support as a result of that process.
Thank you kindly, sir.
So that was before the meeting at Balize House with members of parliament and senators and that, right? So this now is after the meeting at Balize House. Let me hope that it plays.
Ms. Williams, how you feel about this whole...
Coming back.
Ms. Williams, how you feel about
Coming
this
back,
whole
yeah?
incident? How you feel about what's going on in the party?
What's happening here today at the Balize House? Is unusual. Is this usual, Mr. Monroe?
We always attract all the attention. What about those who may be questioning this
This is the PNM. What stability? That's stability. This is the PNM. The PNM has stability.
That is why Trinidad and Tobago will always make sure that the PNM is there for stability. Alright? I would prefer not to say.
Why?
I just would prefer.
Has it started?
I would prefer not to say. Okay?
Any update on the meeting? Anything? Ministers, good evening. Any update on today's meeting, sir? Anything that you can tell us?
Happy New Year, all the very best to you. God bless you.
Minister, any update as communications minister? Good evening, happy New Year, sir. Update, please, sir. What's the latest?
Don't draw updates and give you all of them.
How soon can we expect an update? When can we expect an update?
That is not for me to say.
Ministers, any updates, sir? I mean, we've been waiting here for some time. Can you provide us with the latest information at least?
Yes, we just finished Central Executive meeting and it was wonderful.
In terms of topics raised, anything pertaining to the leadership of Stuart Young and any potential fallout?
Central X, let's deal with that.
Who deals with that exactly?
Wonderful evening, everybody.
Future bright. Future bright. The future bright.
I would prefer not to say anything. Please allow me not to say anything. I would prefer not to say anything.
Did anything come up on the discussion? The agenda for General Council, did that materialize at least?
What can we expect on Saturday, at least, Minister? What do you prefer to say then?
What can we say at this point?
Any message to the population in terms of what is happening? I would prefer not to say
In a very constructive meeting, short.
Did it meet your satisfaction?
Well, because of the subjective conditions, one must always be reasonable, and the legislative caucus is still on the way. So that would have impacted on our meeting, but it couldn't because it's not yet at an end. So it was agreed that whatever issues that and concerns will be raised at the General Council on Saturday.
Can you give us an idea of what the General Council may be suggesting, proposing, discussing, debating?
I cannot contemplate what the General Council is likely to do, but people have concerns and we've raised those concerns at General Council, and I'm quite sure one way or the other a decision will result on Saturday.
What is the main concern of you or others in the party as far as you are aware of raising in this meeting?
That whoever leads the party must be elected by the membership. So the one man, one vote system. So gentlemen and ladies, there is much more
So
This is the impending transition. Some persons are sad as well to see Dr. Rowley signaling to the population at this time that he intends to step aside as Prime Minister and subsequently as political leader as well. So some persons are sad to see him leave. It has been 45 years of his contributions to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and to the party, and I think he spent the last 9 years as Prime Minister, leading this country in some of its toughest times and doing so responsibly and admirably. So a lot of people are saddened by that, but I think all in all, the members of this party are excited and looking forward to the future of the PNM. I'm looking forward to us transitioning during this period.
Just a circle back, this executive meeting is not unusual.
No, these meetings are not unusual at all. The PNM, as a responsible, disciplined, and well-structured organization, we have these meetings from time to time. But of course, we expect that the media will gather here today, given what is happening currently.
Yes, Akila.
So that was some views coming from the MPs and those who are part of the Central X, I would just call it, advisory house. What was instructive when I listened to Ms. Baptiste Primer, she spoke about the leadership of the party, not the leadership of the country. The leadership of the party, and that is an issue for the General Council and probably conference. And she spoke about one man, one vote. And that is what we've been saying. So I don't know why when they started out on this, they didn't explain it like that to people. Because people in the public started to mesh the two together. And that's why they started to say, Dr. Raleigh just do things just so because he in check with the members and all that. But if they had separated the two different constitution and the two different people in the constitution, that and what is it, PSA constitution, PNM constitution, or the constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. The constitution of Trinidad and Tobago deals with the prime minister. The constitution of the PNM deals with the political leader of the PNM. What Dr. Raleigh dealt with during the caucus with his members of parliament was the prime minister's position, and the constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, he followed that process. You see, the one with the political leader, that is for the General Council and all them, but as saying again, is next year is the election constitutionally due for the position of political leader of the PNM, General Secretary of the PNM, Chairman of the PNM, I think Assistant Secretary of the PNM, and some other posts. So I don't see, unless Dr. Raleigh has said he is stepping down as the political leader of the PNM, but I didn't hear him say that. I hear he stepping down as the Prime Minister, not of the PNM, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So why couldn't they make it that simple instead of all the confusion that we have it? Yeah. So that is why I know tomorrow was here, the General Council, who are responsible people, because the PNM is a responsible party, is a stable party that has the interests of Trinidad and Tobago, all citizens and hearts. They would do the right thing within the remit of their authority based on the PNM constitution. Them can't get involved with the constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. That they have nothing to do with them. So let me continue. So, let me read this here. Give me a minute. I also saw that veteran journalist Jones P. Madera has died. We want to send, we here at We Talk D Ting would like to send condolences to the family of Jones P. Madera. So let me see something. I see somebody sent me here. It says, today we commemorate the birth of Trinbagonian writer, historian, politician, and cricket aficionado, Cyril Lionel Robert James, also known as CLR James. Born in Tanapuna in 1901, he attended Queen's Royal College in Port of Spain and shared his love for literature and cricket by writing for the Beacon Group literary magazine. I'm trusting the person who sent me this information. In 1932, James migrated to England, where he became involved in politics, joining Britain's Independent Labour Party, ILP. and founding his own organization called the Marxist Group. He was one of the leading Marxist theorists of his time, publishing his book, World Revolution, in 1937. In 1938, when he published The Black Jacobin, No. That is why I know it's something going wrong here. Well, you see, right, where it's good to read and vet your thing. This actually is the commemoration of the birth of Trinidadian writer, historian, politician Cyril Lionel Robert James, also known as C.L.R. James. When I started to read about Black Jacobin and all that, I said, this could never be a 19 right? So this is the part that they have it. My apologies. It happens. I ain't perfect. So sad news, Justin Jones P. Madera, a veteran journalist, coup survivor and Shakonian gold medal recipient, passed away today at age 80. Right? So that is what I have. I think Monday, God's Spear, I will do a little something on him, right? So as I was saying, this is what Mr. Ashton Ford had to say. Again, it's just reinforcing the things that I have been seeing and others have been seeing. So this is in the news day. I hope it's not too lengthy. Oh gosh, I think it is. So I'm just going to read a little part of it. I can't read the whole thing. So it says here, former Remo Mayor MP Ashton Ford says Energy Minister Stuart Young has ample precedence to become Prime Minister with just the support of his fellow MPs and without any input from the PNM General Council, speaking to Newsday on January the 9th. He cited former Prime Minister George Chambers, Patrick Manning, and Dr. Keith Rowley. While Young edged the Planning Minister Penelope Beckles 11-9 in a poll of PNM MPs at a Tobago retreat held by the Prime Minister. Since then, some MPs have indicated they wish the General Council to meet before giving their signatures to a list being compiled by PNM Lady Vice Chair Housing Minister Camille Robinson-Regis to submit to the President to nominate a new Prime Minister. The General Council meets on the 11th of January at Balisay House, Port of Spain. The PNM Central Executive, made up of the party's elected officials, was due to meet on January 9th, which they did. Ford said that when Dr. Eric Williams died in 1981, the very next day, President Silas Clark announced George Chambers as new Prime Minister after a mere consultation with then-party chairman Francis Boise Pravat. Secondly, he said, at the PNM's defeat in 1986, the general elections, in an NAR landslide, the three surviving MPs, Muriel Donovan McDavidson, Maurice Marshall, and Manning, met and named Manning as opposition leader, a procedure that Ford likened to naming a prime minister. Thirdly, Dr. Rowley was appointed unopposed as opposition leader after the PNM lost the 2010 general election under Manning, and only afterwards did the party hold a convention. Ford said after MP in Tobago had pledged to abide by a majority decision and then voted 9-11 in favor of Young, he now found it quite strange that some MPs were singing a different tune. Now, with the intervention of all these commentators, they, some MPs, want a General Council meeting. In wonder, I think it should be he wonders, whatever. In wonder, he said, MPs were supposed to be honorable people. Newsday asked if the General Council had any legal authority, or if not, then any moral authority in the choice of a new Prime Minister. Ford replied, no, but it is a matter of principle that they go in there to get the support of the General Council. It is the first time. It is a matter of courtesy to get the blessings of the General Council. All those people who are pushing, you are satisfying them. My position is that if they are honorable men and women, they should never retract on the promise made that they would support whoever comes out with the most votes. Newsday asked about reports of dissident MPs backtracking on their pledge owing to their receiving fresh news of Rowley being set to attend a CARICOM meeting in February and so not stepping down immediately, and hence allowing more breathing space for the selection process of a new PM. Ford dismissed this as all trivialities. While at the TNT convent, while the Trinidad and Tobago Constitution says it is for MPs to decide the Prime Minister, Newsers asked if the PNM General Council has any power or moral suasion in the matter. Ford said, "We have to wait and see because this is the first time we are seeing this. The council functioned in accordance with the party's constitution. They could meet at any time and discuss anything in the PNM." Newsay asked if the criteria that was the General Council plus its myriad of personalities was likely to seek to take a role in exerting some sort of moral authority in choosing a prime minister. Ford replied, "I don't think that is likely." He said PNM MPs were deemed honorable people who sat and took a decision for all to support whoever had got the most votes in Tobago. We as a party are expecting these honorable members to keep their word. It comes as a little bit of a surprise to hear them clamoring for this General Council to reverse the decision. If Dr. Rowley had insisted that they sign there and then, all this would not have happened. Dr. Rowley erred in not getting the signatures in Tobago. Did Dr. Rowley err in not getting the signatures in Tobago? I don't know if it is a mistake or what. It is trust. Dr. Rowley trusted his honorable members, and that is what happened when you trust people. Newsay asked if the physical isolation of the retreat plus Rowley's forcefulness had persuaded MPs, who then changed their minds on returning to Trinidad. Ford said, "He did not force anybody. I spoke with some of the members and all of them said nobody forced them to make any decision." Newsay said if MPs knew beforehand that Rowley had made up his mind to support Young and they were then isolated for a retreat, might have felt browbeat by Rowley, but later up to change their mind went away from the pressure. Ford said, no. I worked with Dr. Rowley for 7 years. He can be explosive at times and very calm at times, but at the end of the day, he never holds a grudge. If you notice, the number of people who are against him but are now in cabinet and now serving in high position all over the world. Penny Beckles fought him in 2014, and by 2015, after the election, she was ambassador to the UN. There are also several other instances. Ford made a point that he was from Arima and would have supported Beckles in the recent vote by MP to choose a prime minister. But after an agreement to abide by the majority decision, he was now supporting Young. Asked his hope for the General Council meeting, he said, "I hope good sense prevails and they will put party for personal agenda." Later that day, the PNM Central Executive met at Balize House from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Reporters held a stakeout and I showed everything that would have happened there. Okay? So, they said local government minister Faisal Wari briefly told reporters, "All good. Catch you later." Young and Beckles had a kiss and hug in a public display of party solidarity before the media lenses. Minister of Youth Development said no comments tonight. Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez wished the reporter Happy New Year. Young patted back of Toko Sanigrandi MP Roger Monroe. He hugged Education Minister Dr. Nain Gasly and all had a few words of comments, giving him a brotherly hug. Minutes later, Labor Relations Officer Jennifer Baptiste Primer spoke to reporters, and I showed that. Right? So that's what we have there. Okay. So I just want to just very quickly. This is from, I took this from, because they're saying that the people on the ground saying they don't want Young. Have they all come to the constituency of Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West? Because I just was coming up. Come to the constituency of Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West and hear what the members are saying about their member of parliament. Yeah. So this was People's Meter. I think this was when this was, let me see.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement. Hey, what's going on?
I'm good.
Oh, you're good?
Very well, thank you.
Happy New Year.
You see, things that just jumping. Only give me a minute again. Social media good enough to go. The next time it's stressful. Well. Let me see if I could get it here without this noise. Let me see what it's showing. Okay.
I thought it's only fair that he should get a chance. Everybody deserves a chance in life. And I think he deserves a chance to see where he will take the party.
No, that is right. And if it's settled, because I'm qualified to be. To be honest, he was to understudy for for the longest while. And then on every trip, when he was there. So I believe he is the best person. I see nobody else capable of taking the pressure or whatsoever. Yeah, if I look at the certain at the Prime Minister, there nobody else to go.
Well, it all depends on, who is given that opposition, right? Where the opposition is coming from. If it's from the majority of the people, well, then they should think twice.
I think in all things in politics, you should give the people what they want. Basically, let's have the people view first and make a decision.
The People Say, brought to you by XL Health.
So that was the people say there. So we hear more people saying, let me hear some more people saying. Yes. What is this? Let me see what's happening here again. So this was from, give me a minute. Ooh. Just give me a minute. So this is from This was from the People Meter poll, and as I said, are you satisfied with the methods used to choose Dr. Rowley's successor? 80% said yes, 20% says no. That is the 6 poll. And also from the I poll, I think this was from I-95.5 today, if I'm not mistaken, or yesterday, it says, the question was, do you believe come Saturday, Minister Siochong will receive full support? 75% of the people, the same people that want to know about, said yes, Siochong will get the full support. Okay. Let me just also play something that would speak to this situation with Minister Stuart Young and what would have happened in the past when things like this arise. So let me make sure that this is played.
That Mr. Chambers didn't seek to be Prime Minister. I know that Mr. Chambers didn't seek to be Prime Minister. I know that he was chosen after the President did what he thought was the proper consultations with various people and various institutions. And if you check your records, you'll see that within a couple of minutes of President Clark's announcement of the Prime Minister's passing and his appointment of a new Prime Minister, to wit, Mr. Chambers, all the heads of all the departments of the security in Trinidad and Tobago appeared on television and gave their wholehearted support.
Coming on the heels of...
All right. So that's the late John Donaldson. That's who they had named the Technical Institute at Kamla, and them closed down. And his daughter was the Solicitor General, remember, the one who write to Kamla Prasad Bicester about the things going on in the AG office at Anaram Logal. And remember, Kamla sent back the letter to Anaram Logal, and you know what happened here? Ms. Honeywell, Donaldson, Honeywell, she had to leave. That was John Donaldson's daughter. But they say Kamla care, she care. Kamla ain't like woman at all. Well, not that way. I'm talking about no woman to get competition. Because we're Stacy, we're Ramona, we're Mary King, we're Carolyn Bechan Sipasad, we're Honeywell. One says a strong woman. You can't be wrong. We're Verna, she best friend. Right? Or they take it, or they think it's off. So let me continue again. So this was when PNM lost the election. I want to let their mind go back and see if they want to go back to this. and listen to the child who spoke.
And disbelief at Balize House on Monday evening. The reality that the party they had supported for decades had lost the general election was beginning to sink in. Many stared at the electronic screens as the results began to come in. By 10 o'clock, many had already realized that the party was not in a good position. For some young voters, a PNM defeat, they believe, jeopardizes their chances at a tertiary level education.
My children crying. Imagine that. Because people of Trinidad, right, decide to play Russian roulette and play games with the children feet there. Time will tell, and God will sleep. All I want to know is how I get into the school, because I'm going to close down all of your program, and then for all you send them, you have nothing to get done.
Others dealt with their emotions much differently. This supporter criticized the media for the election outcome.
And we hope this free press will stand by and be responsible for what they have done.
As their political leader, Patrick Manning, addressed the small crowd who had gathered to listen to a victory speech rather than one of defeat, the tears could not be held back, but they all rallied behind their leader. For CNC3, I'm Kamal Georges.
I want to tell you something.
Tears and...
You see when that little girl that crying there, when PNM lost the election 2010, you hear what she said? She don't come and I'm going to close all the youth program. That is exactly what they did. They closed down the largest youth camp, girls' youth camp in the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago, and rather girls' youth camp. I could talk about that because I used to work there. And all programs after they closed down, the little girl was right when she crying. To be afraid, and you know what the mother said? All you do that and play Russian roulette with all the children, and what happened between 2010 and 15, not a youth program. You know what it had? Color me orange. That would have liked to see we. All the programs are shut down, and before that, Mr. Pandey closed down the rest of youth camps. Tobago youth camp closed down. The one down in Shagaramas, they closed down. All of them, they closed down. But you know what was open? A trade center or some trade something across the Caroni Bridge, which only had 4 people who is African descent and is cleaners. Everybody else was Indian. Lecturer, student, everything. And I hear Mr. Man in tears come to the eye, and I hear we open UTT. So play Russian roulette again tomorrow. All the big and mighty, play Russian roulette again tomorrow in the General Council and disappoint the young people of this country who have a Ministry of Youth Development and National Services where they can go and get all the programs. That ministry created by Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley and run by Minister Foster Cummins. So let's play Russian roulette tomorrow in all the General Council. Play Russian roulette in all the General Council tomorrow, and all the work that Mrs. Paula Gopi's school doing in trade and industry, the Phoenix Park and E-Tech and all them things, and the manufacturing sector with PAN, where they're not giving grants to manufacturers. They hear the chrome factory opening back. So men who manufacturing the pan here don't have to send it away to get chrome, it right chroming right here. All they play with all their future tomorrow in the General Council and get on stupid like all their head shaking, and we go lost all them things. You think Kamala and them care about pan? They might go and put the tassa as the national instrument. All they play with all their future again because that young girl cried and she was correct. She was correct. If we ever wanted confirmation, we get it with that young girl in 2010 when she said she didn't know what would happen now to she with the programs, how she would study. She was correct because they closed down everything. All they play Russian roulette tomorrow with all their feelings and who don't like who and who like who and who feel who and who don't want to honor who. As Mr. Ashton Ford said, it's about honor. It's about trust and keeping your word. Because if you can't keep your word for something like that, you can't keep your word to your constituents and them. Then you're not loyal. So if all you can't keep all your word, that all you give in that retreat, and it reach all this back and all you go on General Council now for who chain up who and who chain who, and all you go and make rash decisions based on all their emotion, and I like he and I don't like she, and don't like and forget what the founding father of this party say. It have no matter India, no matter China, no matter Syria, no matter Lebanon, no matter Africa, no matter Europe. I think it's Europe he did say, or next word. He says, Mother Trinidad and Tobago, and a mother can discriminate against her children. Is the minister Stuart Young one of we children? Mr. Chambers wasn't, you see how Sophie here was? Now I keep telling you, the blackest prime minister we have, and political leader PNM we had, is Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. And all they cost him, them who talking now that, oh, how they could put a Chinese in the black people. That when they call Dr. Rowley Oreo, and they ask you, what you think you say, you a paraphrase, and you didn't find nothing wrong in that, so don't tell me no shit. But no, oh, they get no Chinese man, nothing. And all the writers, them African ones who write it, don't tell me shit. But no African man, because, what's his name? Selo Kojo went in after Satmaraj embarrassed you all over the TV. He went in Satmaraj funeral, nothing wrong in that. Satmaraj was a man who stood up for his people, nothing wrong in that. You went in the funeral and here where you say, as an African man, that Satmaraj is the Martin Luther King Jr. What a disrespect for a man don't even know he blasted history and teaching American history and Pan-African history. So no, the black intellectual no don't tell me no shit. No bullshit about no, oh, it's a Chinese man or little blaster just enjoying us. All you had something called, what they call Black Caucus. Where Black Caucus? People buy jersey. My husband and I buy jersey. Here, I say me want no jersey. Give me $100. Where the Black Caucus today, they stand up for black people. So don't tell me nothing about they put a Chinese man. The man who they put, his mother is Indian. East Indian. So I don't understand how East Indian people have a problem. And then he next side, the father is Chinese. Real cosmopolitan. We're a cosmopolitan country. Or they don't want a black man. So no, they don't want a Syrian man. So no, they don't want the Chinese and Indian man. Where they want? Or they want a Kunumuno. Or they want a woman or they can bully. Go and make whoever want to run this country and be political leader, the PNM, go and get clear and make the person. Let me see what it is all they want. Play with all they hear. What this girl saying, what she say, and it come to truth. It come to pass. This country is not an Indian country. But the UNC is an Indian party in all its reincarnation. They reincarnated from PDP, TLP. Then it had Agriculture Farmers Union, something between there. Then it was SDLP. Then it come down to Club 88. It come to ULF, or ULF first, and then Club 88, then UNC, and then PP, and then UNC. All them reincarnation, it has remained a what? Indian party. But the same philosophy. That's why, Jolene John, we feeling sad for you. And we're not gloating, but we know you'll never become the political leader at the UNC. Them people in allowing that. So Lowy, with Minister Stuart Young, who the party philosophy, he's a child of this country, it's a cosmopolitan country, and the PNM is not no black party, so all the black elites and the elites my backside, if we keep thinking so, the party will so. No growth. We will have no growth. Only one crossover appeal. Or they can crossover appeal now. And told us, Dr. Rowley is a bully. He's a tyrant. He's a dictator. All kind of thing, the same black man, or let they talking about, oh, the black man take a Chinese man, or little blasted, deceitful, or let's start educated ones, or let deceitful the people on the ground. Know the truth. You think when we say we're on the ground with young is just a catchphrase? Or phrase? All they know about Minister Stuart Young, come in the constituency and ask about Minister Stuart Young. Ask people in Tonapuna about Minister Stuart Young. Ask the people wherever he touched on in the community, in the constituencies. Ask them about him. But oh, he don't understand. Hey. All they don't get caught up with the color and the hair. He's a human being at the end of the day. This was Mr. Manning speaking on race relations. Listen carefully.
And so, my dear friends, it is a society of people, none of whom is indigenous to the country, and therefore, no one race has any more right to the country and what it has to offer than any other. All of us have an equal right, my dear friends, and there must be equality and equity in the conduct of government of the laws of the land. It is always a source of great gratification to welcome to a forum such as this. And I look in the audience and I see people of different races.
Yeah? In a PNM meeting, you hear what he said? He see people of different races. He only see African people. It had Indian people there. It had Caucasian people was there. It had all peoples was there. And that's what the PNM is. Because no race is better than none. So what are you trying to tell me? Minister Stuart Young somehow is so inferior. And we so superior that he can lead the People's National Movement as the Prime Minister or even the political leader. Eh? Eh? What are you really saying in truth? And then we want to sing the anthem side by side. I ain't stand up next to somebody at all. That is all they're thinking. Because me, I live in Africa. If I was in Africa, Africa is Africa. I in Trinidad and Tobago. This is where they bring down, they kidnap, rape, torture, mutilated my ancestors and bring them down here. And we have to make a living here after 400 years of enslavement. And they brought other peoples too. They bring the indentured laborers here. They became our brothers and sisters. They asked us how we could through and wherever it is. And the French was here. The Spanish was here, the English was here. That's how we mix up so. So don't tell me nothing but no black. I don't want to be no black party. I say far from that, and as an African woman, a Rasta woman. I want to tell some people, well, as a slave catcher, let me tell you something. Yes, as a slave catcher. Because when I catch the slave and them, when they leave from me with the education and knowledge they get, they just walk away as a proud African. We see when they catch them, they just walk away as house ends. Because it does make them feel there's nothing. Or let's have them more confused. They have no self-respect. Nothing. That's what does make them when they catch them. So leave me, let me catch them. Because when I catch them, I'm educating them. So when they leave, they're proud and they can stand up with any other race. Equal. And I keep telling all again, I can afford to support Minister Stuart Young, the half Chinese, the half Indian man. You know why? Because I'm proud of me. I love my race. So when I stand next to the Chinese Indian man, me I feeling less than. I say equal. Me don't feel less than. I have to bow my head and do nothing. I'm an equal. I can watch Minister Stuart Young in the eye as an equal, as an African woman. A proud African woman, and he has a proud mixed race, Indian and Chinese, and we good like that. So if all they have problem with me as a Rasta woman, oh, African thing, she always talking African thing, but she supported a Chinese Indian man, yes. That's why I'm able to do that. Because me ain't insecure about myself. And if somebody of Indian, Chinese descent has the ability, the knowledge, the experience, and has performed to lead, let them lead. I go take somebody because they look like me just to say, well, they look like me. I'm not doing them that chopping thinking. You go reach nowhere with that. But I don't mean to say I don't love my African brothers and sisters, but you must know your competence. You must know what you could and couldn't do. You think I could run PSA? Me taking that work? You're mad or what? But I will make an excellent industrial relation officer or even a second VP or first VP. But I don't want that position. So if I still had years in the public service, I wasn't going to put myself up as no president of PSA. For what? You think I want position just because? No, I want position where I'm competent in and know I could do the best in. I know my abilities, I know my shortfalls, I know my limitations, and I'm not shame on none. So me, I rockin' with Minister Stuart Young SC, my member of Parliament, Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, as the Prime Minister of the People's National Movement. You see, when it comes to the political leader, that is the mafia and the General Council. But you see the role he was given and they voted for in the retreat, where they're saying somebody want to backtrack now. I support Minister Stuart Young to take we into victory 2025. And all of them who say they're backtracking, let me see them take the People's National Movement into victory. You go just want the base alone to vote for all you? All you think, so all you want to have all your career, some who is the last 5 years, all they want to end it in opposition? Or they don't want to go out on a blaze of glory? All they want, and all them young ones and them, all they want to be in opposition? What you could do for your constituents when you're in opposition? What could you do? Especially with a UNC in office, what you could do? Just because of all their ego? And want to take a chance in the future. Look how that little girl cried, and she was correct to cry. Because just what she said happened. Kamla Prasad says, and them start to close down all them places and them where people gonna go and learn. So they get all up in their feelings. Because he's a just come. I've just come too. So they could cost me too. But I understand patriotism. I understand what it is to love my country. I understand and know when there's somebody who could do the work, that person should be given the opportunity to do the work. We want money. The country had to get money to run. All them ministries and them had to get money to run. The oil has depleted. Where do we get it from? We have gas that on tap. It had contracts for gas that was there for years, but it could have been run cool because we had oil. But now the oil has depleted. You want them gas. The contract has to be signed off on. You think you'll pick up a contract and go up in Hague and Texas and all them places and just walk in and say, oh, let's sign that? You have to negotiate. Who was the negotiator? Minister Stuart Young. If all they don't like that, all they have to deal with that. That's true talk. So if the man good at negotiating, the man could sign off on all them gas deal, along with the man who was a scientist. What they want again? All they want to take over, and then when all they go here and then places, people don't know all they don't even know what to do, or not to start. From the time they watch, all they close the door. Tell the secretary, tell that person there. All they play with future and with children's future because all their feelings. Or they make a commitment based on what Mr. Ashford said. Or they made a commitment when all those in the caucus. Stick to it. Be honorable people because PNM have honorable people. Stick to your commitment. Don't turn back now. But you want General Council. General Council is even the political leader. All it dealt with the Prime Minister. What you want the General Council involved in that for? I don't know. All they play fast with stupidness and play stick foolishness and play smart. This was Mr. Manning. Again, I'm showing you the historical context of things.
Former PNM leader and Prime Minister Patrick Manning has been forced to break his silence about the leadership of the PNM and his future in the party following a published report claiming several MPs were lobbying that he return as political leader. In a one-page statement, the former PNM leader and Prime Minister is making it clear that he will not take part in any activity which is not in the best interest of the PNM and its leader, Dr. Keith Rowley. According to the former Prime Minister, he willingly agreed and signed a letter to the President in support of Dr. Keith Rowley as leader of the opposition and encouraged the San Fernando East constituency, which he represents, to nominate Dr. Rowley as leader of the party. He goes on to say that he has attended each sitting of the parliament and supported the positions taken by the parliamentary team of the PNM, led by the opposition leader, and more importantly says that he has, quote, studiously avoided the limelight and not sought to upstage Dr. Rowley at any time, end quote. Mr. Manning goes on to make it clear that he continues to be loyal and committed as a PNM member and is a supporter of the PNM political leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, who was elected according to the party's constitution. Referring specifically to the published report, which suggests that several MPs have been lobbying Dr. Rowley to be removed and replaced by Mr. Manning, he states, quote, I have neither approached any of my colleagues in the party nor any single party member in support of unseating Dr. Rowley, and does not intend to allow my name to be used by persons associated with acts of treachery involved in undermining the political leader, end quote. During his 10 years PNM leader and Prime Minister, the relationship between Mr. Manning and Dr. Rowley was the subject of much debate and headlines. Following the PNM's crushing election defeat, Mr. Manning resigned as PNM leader and has since made very few public appearances. For CNC3, I'm Melissa Williams.
Yeah. He talk about treachery, trying to get to sign this and sign that, whatever it is. And he talk about honor. Talk about honor, loyalty. I want to see the loyalty tomorrow, God spare, for the country at Trinidad and Tobago. I'm talking about the position of the Prime Minister. Me ain't talking about no political leader, me ain't getting in that. I want to see if we're going to put country first or feelings first. After all, you made an agreement according to what Mr. Ashton Ford said. That all they agreed that whoever win, when all they did all their caucus in there, that's where you go support all the reneging on it. That's what they say, me and say so. What about honor? What about honor? What about loyalty? What about honor and loyalty to your constituents who want to see you go back into office to make sure they get proper representation? What about that? All they don't care about where we are. Eh? Or they just open all the feelings our we go see. This is who all they want to get back in to tell we today, but she feels sad for we. Jolene John, get some toilet paper and wipe your backside, eh? Because they say it is alleged. If they tell you go and clean the toilet, you go and clean it. Them disrespecting you every day, diminishing your worth as a woman of African descent, and you are seeing that. You are seeing that. Listen to what Kamala Persad say about Makila Pandey. But she love, let me rephrase that, but she does support women. Daily Express, January 8, 2025. Leader of the Patriotic Front and daughter of the late United National Congress, UNC founder and former Prime Minister Basil Pandey said she had engaged the party in the past for discussions, but was told that opposition leader Kamala Persad did not want a Pandey in her party. No loyalty. Because the man who party you take over with Jack Warner and then make you queen maker, you take over the party and no respect for Subhas Pandey and his daughter. No loyalty. That's all I want to drag PNM. All I want to bring in UNC behavior into the PNM. Pande was yesterday responding to a comment on a social media page which stated that her voice would have been better heard on a UNC platform amidst the Patriotic Front campaigning for the 2025 general election. By now, you could have been the leader, but you missed the bus by staying at your father's side. Remember, it's your father who said politics has a morality of its own, but you didn't listen. The commentator wrote under a post in which Pandey called for us to enter tribal politics. But Pandey replied in a now, that is Michaela, depleted comment that being a leader was not her goal in forming the party. She said she had in the past volunteered to help the UNC, but was turned away. The opposition had lost 2 consecutive general elections, by-election and local government election, all while losing its own support. On numerous occasions, I have volunteered to help the party for absolutely nothing in return. Many party members will attest to this, and the response had been the same. Mrs. Bisessa does not want any discussion or Pandey in her party, she wrote. She said she was not staying by her father's side, as there was no side. She reported the late former Prime Minister had visited Prasad Bisessa in 2011 and offered his help. We didn't practice the kind of divisive politics. There was no side. He himself visited the leader of the opposition in 2011 when things first started falling apart and offered to help. You don't know that though. So please, not because you have stayed quiet and not because we have stayed quiet and let the lies that were being told run means that it was true, she wrote. Pandey said that she was not going to watch the country burn because of the greed of power. We live in a democracy. Why shouldn't people have a choice? Or do you suggest we keep doing the same thing and expect a different result? That is the definition of insanity. Do you suggest that we sit back and do nothing and give the PNM 15 years in politics by 2030 and then another 30 years, she wrote? Well, I stand by my father's side today and I say it is not in my DNA to do that. I will not sit back and watch my country burn because of others' greed for power. Lastly, why don't you contact Mrs. Prasad Bisessa and organize a meeting? I'll be there, she added. But I want to hold on and pigeonhole the PNM in that tribal politics. Tribal, she called it, not tribal. Listen to this. Kato, you could say we want to tell you all this bad energy, all this spirit heavy, all that nothing good coming from all you. As a hypocrite, because talking the truth, I don't know if I up or down. I know very well. But I know you must sit down because when you bend over, I want when you bend over, you wind back and see if you could fall on something. Yeah? I want you to bend over and look at the drip that you had dripping because I show it yellow. And see if your head could be used like a tampon, stick up inside it to stop the dripping. Yeah? Because I know where I'm at. I standing up, me and looking down. All of us have to look down because only don't know yourself. So this was in January 3rd, 2025, a little bit ago. In the Daily Express, said UNC Jokers versus PNM stability. In his Sunday Express column, Professor Selwyn Kojo advocated that people vote out the PNM, the People's National Movement, but nowhere in his column did he suggest an alternative. This tells me that he has seen no worth in those political entities now seeking political power, including the UNC. Sure, right, Professor. There is no alternative to the PNM. Despite the challenges, the PNM remains a stable, well-organized, disciplined, and democratic party with a vision that brought us safely out of the colonial era into independence and republicanism, and even out of the pandemic. I count the professor as one of the smartest professionals in his field, and therefore cannot honestly believe that he would want to saddle us with a bunch of opposition jokers vying for power. They are so ill-prepared and ill-disciplined that they cannot even forge a credible coalition to challenge the PNM. And what was the vision for this ragtag coalition? Look, don't humor me, Professor. We're talking serious business here. Does the goodly professor believe his rhetoric calling the PNM this corruptible formation? What would he think of the UNC with two of its senior members members linked to alleged corruptible material. I want to tell you what he say. He called them, I think he dubbed them uncivilized, civilized UNC, uncivilized national crooks or something. So that's what he called them. If I'm mistaken, okay, something like that. What would he think of the UNC with two of its senior members linked to alleged corruptible matters, or another of the political grouping in which the leader admitted to breaching the party's constitution to seize leadership? What does the good professor think about those other press releases and press conferences? Political groups whose supporters can hardly fill a 25-seater maxi. From what I observe, they are only good at telling us what the problem is, but never able to provide solution. As for the UNC, they have yet to answer for alleged unexplained dereliction of fiduciary duty to the state in treating with the OAS highway contract, the Beaton Water wastewater project, and the Crop interchange project, amongst others. By examining the alternative, I would ignore the professor's advice and stick it out to the PNM, which is still the most stable, credible, and competent political party to manage government. And say what you will, Dr. Keith Rowley is a strong, competent, visionary, and sober leader who deserves your support. Harry Patap, former MP. That is not African writing, that. So let me continue. Kate Wale had to be here every time I come. Every time I come up. Because it's truth. Only can't deal with the truth. Right? Let me just read this. Let me just show you this. And only tell me what them do. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Another historic.
Trinidad, top 10 waterfalls. Number 10, Zorro Waterfall.
Sorry about that. I tell you, this thing is worrisome. Let me see it again.
Historic day, another day I'm particularly proud of, because today we've actually begun the fabrication work for Manatee. Manatee was a project, a concept that the Prime Minister came up with in 2018, gave me the responsibility to deliver. We managed to deliver it.
The status and growth of the energy industry in Trinidad is at quite an important moment. Manatee will be very important for the continued growth, bringing on between 600 and 700 million steady cubic feet a day into the energy system, which will really underpin it for many years to come.
What you've seen here is an ability to go out there, to maneuver, to negotiate, to get Shell committed to it, to get the Venezuelan government to agree to deunitize Manatee from Loran, and to be here today, and to see, most importantly, the hundreds of workers getting direct job opportunities at Tufco's yard, and to know that that was our policy coming together.
It's a good opportunity to have plenty room to learn a lot about platforms, jackets, piles, fabricating, painting, rigging. It have a wide variety of crafts in here. So creating a lot of employment, and as I say, it trickles down, because when you come and you get employed here, you get a salary, you can spend it throughout the community, in the parlors, the groceries, and it will impact the whole community.
I am proud. I'm proud today that we've kicked off the fabrication for the Manatee jacket, largest ever to be done in Trinidad and Tobago. This is your government. This is your government not only working for you, but this is me delivering to you, for you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right? That's money in we pocket that could go in the Ministry of Youth Development National Services to make sure they have all the programs to the young people, to go to the Ministry of Trade and Industry to give out grants, to go to social welfare to be able to give out grants, to go to all the other ministries that don't make money to make sure it run right, to help pay salaries, to pay light, to pay water. Okay, look at this one.
What we've just done here today is a tour of yet another piece of the puzzle. What we're seeing here today is the transpooling, meaning the pipeline transfer, just over 30 kilometers of pipeline that have come all the way from the United Kingdom to Trinidad and Tobago. And this is all for the SIP project. What is amazing about today is we're seeing the trickle-down effects of how this affects lives in Trinidad. Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh gosh.
Who on board this vessel here, 15% are local. Shark tunes, the people who supply the vessel with food, fuel, and these types of things are locals. One of the persons handling the ROVs on this vessel is actually from Mariah in Tobago. We've also just had a great experience of meeting 3 maritime recruits from the UTT Maritime Program. 3 cadets from their program who are on board this vessel from start to finish. We are getting the experience. Someone on board the vessel, another local, was proud to come and whisper to me that just yesterday they got the results of some of the surveys that are taking place on the wells at Dragon Field in Venezuela. So this Trinidad and Tobago, this is what is happening in the energy sector. This is the reality of what we've spent the last few years out there negotiating on your behalf and earning the revenue for Trinidad and Tobago and many different people in Trinidad and Tobago. This is your government working for you, Trinidad and Tobago, as we continue meeting with success after years of hard work on your behalf.
What I want again?
So you be. Change your clothes.
These videos keep running one into the next. Sorry about that. Where does all I want again? All I want young people. All I get Curry Marcel. After all the dramas and the plays out, all I get Curry Marcel. Young attorney. And from the ground. Who understands the ground? Because he come from that space. Well-loved community and others. It's getting that. The government says short young. Young also. So many others in Mayor Port of Spain, young. And so many others. We have member of parliament for Tobago, I think East or West, whichever one it is, young people. Roger Monroe Brandy, Mr. Roger, MP Roger Monroe, young. Excuse me, MP Marvin Gonzalez, young. MP Brian Manning, young. Faris Awari also, Mr. Faris Awari too. Well, between the two, you know that kind of thing. But the point I'm making, when you look at the People's National Movement, it's not just it's a mixture, a large mixture of people who are young that could relate. The young people could watch and want to emulate. Where's all the problem? I just saying again, me and a big watch, you know, papi. And I will say this. Me, if there's going to be an election for the political leader in 2026, I don't think no general council should be studying to move up no election at that this year. Because having 2 elections in 1 year will take away energy, money, strength, and all kind of feelings to pull back together to fight a national election. It don't make sense. That is no strategy that try and have no bring forward internal election to bounce up with a general election this year. It makes no sense. So this is my unsolicited advice. Leave the internal election for when it is constitutional due next year, and let me rally Prime Minister Siot Young and win this damn election convincingly. And all these projects that were signed, because all they couldn't sign them, so they can jealous the man who signed them. If all they could do it, all they should have gone and do it. All they can do it. So it was done. In all the ministries, all they're doing fantastic work. He couldn't do that work. People know your lane and join as well. All they do, all they thing in all the ministry for the betterment of this country. And when all they do, come together as one. Everybody have a place at the table. But you see the separation chopping us because who like who, all of we go lost. And like the little girl that crying and say, come land them come now, we know what happen. We go ball this time because we go really eat grass. And Johnny John tell you again, don't sorry for we darling. Sorry for yourself. Because you could just reach where you reach right there. You can't reach no further. So papers, let me see all who here. So Angela, Helen, Joel, Corian, Didi, Diane, Constance, Indra, Philo, Alice, Gail, Michael, Julie, Kevin, Andre, Leon, Brian, Joseph, Dandy, Denise, Tessa, Debbie, Elsa, Angela, Anne-Marie, Angela, Diane, Jennifer, Cara, Joyce, Ricardo, Hollister, Jonathan, Margaret, Merle, Phyllis, Anne-Marie, Kenneth, Philomene, Anne, Hazelan, Larry, Balti, Sharon, Sandra, Donna, Hazel, Rosie, Beverly, Katia, and Raymond, Felicia, and she whole name, just like my next girl, and Joycelyn Small, White, Helen Ross, oh God, all the line up in a row, Helen Ross Rojas from Maureen, Charles, my family from Puna, Emmeline, Kelvin Cato, Bad Spirit, Heavy Spirit, Kevin Cato, Sarah, Ingrid, Marva, Gloria. I saw the next one, Rick Williams. I don't know if you is really Rick Williams and you have 3 and 4 profile, but whatever it is, you have a heavy spirit. Go deal with that. Lime and blue soap can help you. Not even prayers. You spread heavy, your aura heavy. So you like they put you so. Every time you have to come here and talk negativity and nothing. That's all they write to. Gloom and doom. Gloom and doom. Alcohol. Go and pick up money, Kevin Cato, to get your leader to a dentist to see what she teeth and them. They're looking black. They're looking like they're discolored, like it's stained with cigarette. Like I don't know. It ain't looking good. Go and see about she and make sure she all right. Don't study we good over here. Don't sorry for we Calvin, sorry for yourself and your leader. She looking bad, she sounding bad, and she must either smell bad too. But the whiff is what you must either get and have all the bazodi. I don't know. So people. Tomorrow, God's Spear is the People's National Movement, not the government of Trinidad and Tobago. The People's National Movement have internal business to deal with, so this General Council meeting, and I say again, that may have nothing to do with no picking and no Prime Minister. That is the Constitution and the members of Parliament, and that was done. And I want to tell the members of Parliament, keep all your word. Keep all your word, be honorable men and women. Because somebody have some list on it or their name on it. I don't know if them is the people name, I don't know. But people don't have it in their mind who vote for and who they vote for. So bear that in mind when all you don't want to keep all your word. People will watch all you different. Because this is about country. This is not about no party. And it's about winning the 2025 general election convincingly. So that the UNC don't have to come back in office and no little African child or no Indian child, no Chinese child, none of which children cry and say, oh God, what we going to do? They're going to stop we learning. I just tell people they don't have to like me. I good with that. My God and Savior Jehovah, Rastafari love me. And that is the love I want. Because you see, people, some people, hey! But again, at the end of the day, it's not all people. Just as I say, it ain't have all Indians, they'll be getting on like Kamala and them. They don't. But I understand the pressure that is be under to come out and talk because that community here, right here, you know. When they see you go up against them and there's one of them, especially if you're dark. Let Kamala and them tell me alliance, so it look like Jamanti white and she whole self. When you're dark in that community, it's not easy, you know. the colorism that we dread on here, you know, and if it's of mixed heritage, Douglas they call it, that is why I feel, and let's get on so. Because that kind of treatment it does get when you're here in long and straight like them and you come out on the African side, it don't be right. It don't be easy. So people again know what all they're doing. It's not about all they alone in General Council tomorrow. It's not about all this, it's about the whole country watching all this. Because all they make it a national issue when that was not all their business. So now that all they make it a national issue, where all they want to get permission for the picking of the Prime Minister, everybody iron all it. When all they should have stayed in all their business with the political leader situation, all they put all themselves in the national light. So people watching all this, children are dependent on all this, know what all they're doing. And it don't make no sense having no 2 elections this year. No internals and no general. It don't make no sense. That is not a strategy. That is madness. People, I love you all. See you all on Monday. God's plan, I come with something for something new. This is a good Jen, Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you want to get formulas, Miss Jennifer Frederick. All those who are members of the constituency of Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, this is a very excellent time to come out and show your support. Show your support behind your member of parliament. Because we know he could do the work. He come to do the work and he never fail yet. He is perfect. Like somebody said, it's troops. If I walk in BC going my way and you stop me to ask me chopping it, I go say, that way you stop me to ask me and bust out a dirty sting troops. And I can't even troops good. I would have troops good. That way that's so he from the Caribbean. You tell me chopping it with a troops. Long time he said I be mouth ring from my parents for troops in. So come now, man. He is perfect. But let me tell you, to do the work, he has been doing it diligently. He has been in all the ministries I can think about, so you understand the scene. He has been in the Ministry of National Security, the Ministry of Legal Affairs, the Ministry of the Office of the General AG, the Ministry of, where's the next one? Office of the Prime Minister, the Ministry of this ministry. He all wrong. So he gets a taste of everything. And then he was acting Prime Minister to all the vex to the man for that. All the vex to the man. All the vex for that. Eh? Listen to one thing again he would have done to save this country millions of dollars after coming up with predecessor and the incompetent Minister of Energy, Kevin Ramnarine. Let me just read a little thing here quick. This is about the competency and skills and working experience of the Honorable Stuart John SC. And capacity to be the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Do you recall that a few months after the PNM administration took office in 2015, a claim of $6.3 billion was made on the government of Trinidad and Tobago? The claim was made by a Japanese company pertaining to a gas project done by the UNC. Who was the person chosen by Dr. Keith Rowley to treat with this very, very serious matter? It was the Honorable Stuart Young who was sent to Japan to renegotiate the matter. And what was the result? So the NGC is no longer exposed to billions of dollars in claims for damages. Yeah? And then I'll read it the next day. Because if he didn't go and renegotiate them deal, this country had to go back to the IMF to pay off that Japanese company $6.3 billion. That is what Kevin Ramnarine left for we. Who went and negotiated it? People, don't get caught up in small talk and old talk. And who is small pen? Let me tell you, small pen is stroke hard. And I know my business was small or big or whatever, because I could say things about some other people and they ain't go like it. So maybe they go there and stigmatize no ethnic group. Let me not stigmatize, because we could say all kind of things, but let me not go there. Yeah, let me not go there. That is not my business and our issue. It's who could run this country competently. It's who could bring in the money and the investment, and who they don't know already, and who has been doing the work without complaining, head down. Me, I endorse. You don't need my endorsement, but me, I endorse Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young. And It ain't now me supporting Minister Stuart Young. You see this picture here? You see this? This was before he was minister. This was the 2015 general elections. Yeah. Me and my pumpkins always supporting. So me not just come with Minister Stuart when it comes to no support. Me always supporting long time for my minister. I'm a minister. So I support Minister Stuart Young, SC. So tomorrow in all the General Council, get twisted and pointing finger and bawling and shouting and all that. And create a situation with the whole country watching now. Because it's all they call for this. All they want this meeting, all they get meeting. Don't make the right decision for the children and all the children and all the grandchildren. And we will never, the country, those who depend on the People's National Movement will forgive all you. You all have a blessed night. I love you all. Blessed weekend. Go out and support Minister Stuart Young if you're in his constituency and all those who want to. I wasn't asked to say this. I sort of feel nobody tell me to come and say this. Me saying that on my own. I don't need nobody to tell me what to say. I just talk the thing how I feel to talk it. Go out and support. All I love him. All I feel is right man for the job for Prime Minister. I ain't not getting no political leader back and all. Ain't getting that. Prime Minister. And if the General Council is smart, they ain't going to talk nothing but not having no internal election for no political leader now. Because that will defeat the purpose because we have a bigger election to fight and we need all hands on deck. We don't need nobody toting no feelings. Because all they're going to benefit, all they're going to remain in all the minister, all the ministerial position, or they can help all the constituents. If all they want to go into opposition, continue and go along with all the dotishness. But I'll tell you, the children like all that little girl ball, and what she said was true. When she said, Kamala them officer, she know how she goes learn again, and it came true because I know for a fact they shut down the largest youth camp in this country where girls like her who were not good in academics could go on further themselves, and they shut down many more. And they do much more worse thing than those things. So they get tired. Love all they see all day on Monday. Go spare when I come with something fresh, something new. This is the girl, be safe out there, do the right thing. Love your children, kiss your children. Know what time it is, God.
I want to invoke the doctor and then write him a letter. I want to ask him a question, if he knew what was going on. The other day I was passing, I hear people complaining. He is the man with the answer, but he quite over yonder. They say, snake in the valley, snake in the valley, snake in the valley, and they biting hard. Snake in the valley, I'm sorry for Trinidad. In the country, man, they worse than my baby when they're making their